Good morning, good morning. Happy Monday and welcome up to the live this morning. I hope everybody's having a great one today. We are kicking things off here this morning with the SPY attempting to rise, actually, filling the gap back up. The SPY was gapping down Thursday, filled the gap all the way back up, and is still holding higher here. What a start to the week. SPY, watch 655.50 to 655.65. This is a big zone. Yeah, honestly, it extends down to even 655. Very big zone of resistance, though, right on the trend line. This is a trend line that we've been watching on the channel for a few weeks now. This is a big zone. As we look at the SPY and the channel, you can see it on the daily. It looks better, though, on an hourly. Let me zoom out. That channel is testing here this morning. I should say the trend line. It's kind of like a downwards channel. It just doesn't line up perfect. So if you hear me say channel, that's why. But I don't love the lower line. Doesn't line up great. Not as consistent, at least, as the overhead line here on the SPY. Very big morning for that, though. So keep your eyes on that one. The resistance, though, where SPY rejected down this morning is also critical. We can see that that was the high last Wednesday and also where it touched Thursday. And then, of course, pre-market this morning touched again. So 3 tests there over the past couple of days. Good morning, Almighty, Maddie, Jake, Calvin, Toro, Healthy Cooking, Forced to Work. I like that name. Tangy Man, Ken Coded, KNMSO, Joe Papa, Dr. Zoidberg. How's everyone doing today? Ken Coded said if Trump kept quiet for a week and all we had was actual news, the market would tank. You think so? I don't know. It might come back, actually. Trump hasn't been very friendly with the market lately. Blazer. Jack Bradshaw, good morning. I still can't believe he said that yesterday, Calvin. $6.59 on the SPY. Pushing actually a bit higher here towards 658.50, 659. It might get there pretty soon. SPY's holding up a lot better than I thought it would into this morning, especially after over the weekend. And, we had a big 3-day weekend. We saw a lot of craziness unfold with that rescue operation. That's a pretty crazy operation over there. I saw reports that there was an intense firefight. Definitely made the headlines and the news interesting, that's for sure. I was expecting SPY to actually be lower to start the day, but it's opening up in the green here. Kind of surprising me today. What do you guys think? Is it kind of surprising for you as well? Especially after last night, you know, crude oil futures were moving higher. Oh, they're starting to move higher here again, which could be another negative for the market. Although this is delayed. Let me pull out the non-delayed really quick. Oh, my Thinkorswim crashed. Every Monday morning, Thinkorswim. They always come out with those updates. How do you feel about playing Tesla to the downside today, like you mentioned in the video? Yeah, I like it. We just need to see some good PA start to play out. Come here, Tessie. Unfortunately, Tesla did not really break under 359, 360, which, you know, was the real indicator there to look at it down. Unfortunately, Tesla gapped up a bit. It actually filled the gap here at open and bounced. That's a pretty good bounce. I get the Mag 7 going here. SpaceX hype. Tesla's going back to 375. It looks strong today. Even with it pulling back right now, holding that gap fill is a pretty strong move. SPY's now all the way back down, testing the low from pre-market at 655.50, and it was like touching the trend line here too. Man, big trend line touch. Gosh, that trend is going to be in play right there. The SPY 655 support. It's a big zone. Watch it for a potential breakdown. What do you think about MU this morning? MU. Haven't checked on it yet. Let's see. Micron. Wow, big gap up. Did they have some news? Or was it just gapping up? I didn't think I saw anything too crazy from MU. Yeah, just kind of gapping up with the market. They're up like 1.8% right now, even after pulling back. That's a big resistance there at 380. AMD, Jack says. Advanced money destroyer, or dispenser technically today, 3.11%. Maddie says for the win. Wow, great move by AMD. Look at it on the daily chart as well. Very strong off of its lower zone of support, which I really like with AMD's move here. That support zone is held up beautifully underneath, and it's starting to finally push this big resistance again. It got to this resistance on Tuesday, February 24th, but since then, it has not been able to get back there. It got pretty close to the top end of it this morning. The top of it's up around 227 though, where it got to like 225.50 today. What's the tech sector ETF? He said NQ50 AMA, it's below the 200 moving average. Okay, so the 50 crossed the 200? Like a little death cross or something? What do you think the over-under on U.S.-Iran deal by tonight? It's 48-hour deadline. Trump set. Yeah, tonight. Tonight would be pretty tough. Gosh, at this point, I'm not even thinking that one's gonna happen, especially after all the stuff this weekend. We'll see, though. RCAT and UMAC are up. RCAT up 3.79%, breaking out pretty well, moving up towards resistance from last week. Touched on Wednesday around 1360. Pretty big level, though. I've had it marked for a while. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that is a pretty big resistance. Might be tough to break through that. If it gets some good momentum, though, it could shoot through. These stocks have been hot lately. And resistances are... I'm not going to say they're meant to be broken, but... that's the idea. Breaking resistance. KNMSO says RCAT can keep going. That'd be beautiful, right? Look at the daily of RCAT. It had pulled back a lot recently. Starting to pop back, holding this range of support from the past. It's actually making slightly higher lows here, which is a good sign off the bat. NVIDIA, MSFT, Avgo tanking, AMD holding it up. CoreWeave tanking, let's see. NVIDIA pulling back 0.34%. Wow, NVIDIA 5-minute chart pulling back 175.80, touching. Yeah, NVIDIA is pulling back here. Here, let's go ahead and do the Mag 7 setup. See what we've got. There's Tesla here. Look at Google shooting higher here. 298.50. Now that's huge. That is a big jump. Wow. What a wild, wild morning it's been. Already, a lot of these stocks are very back and forth or just complete opposites. Like Microsoft down, Nvidia kind of negative, but so far, like Apple and Amazon and Google have been pretty solid from open, all kind of extending higher here. Nvidia might be joining them soon too. It's helping the SPY hold its ground, that's for sure. Tessie are one of our favorites lately, pulling back towards its lower end of the morning. Might be a good buy the dip opportunity here soon. It's been hard to say with Tesla. They've been down a lot when the market's up when the market's down, it seems like in the shorter term here, especially Thursday. Tesla was very weak on Thursday, even with the SPY ripping higher. Like, look at the SPY's recovery here, intraday Thursday. And like you go check out Tesla's price action and it was extremely negative. I would love to see Tesla get under the low from Thursday to trade it down. Of course, there's always other opportunities intraday as well, but that's the main area I'm looking for anyways. ASTS is doing quite well, Matty G says. AST Space Mobile, the space stocks continuing to crush it today. 5.34%. Look at the watch list. Yeah, ASTS is up there. Surprised I'm not seeing other space-related stocks moving higher. How about NASA? I'm sure it's moving a little. No, not a lot. Definitely not at open anyways. Ooh. Mason just posted an update that Iran said it will not accept deadlines or pressures for a deal. Will not accept. Bounced a pretty huge trend line of higher lows, Maddie says, on ASTS. Let's see. Definitely higher lows here. I don't really see the trend, but I like the higher lows for sure. ASTS is about to hit $100 per share, though. Wow, extremely strong again today. Sheesh. So much momentum here. Every 1 minute candle seems like it's getting stronger. It probably won't continue to go this hot, though. This is pretty hot. Oh, you're looking at the longer term on ASTS. I got you. Let's see. Oh, wow. Yeah, it did. Yeah, it did. There is a big trend line there. Now I see it, Maddie. I didn't realize you meant that. Very nice bounce, yeah. Playing out perfectly, almost. It didn't quite touch the trend line, or did it? Let's see. It didn't quite extend down to there, but close enough. Too bad it didn't create that really good snipe, but either way. Rejecting a little bit as it got close to 100 here. Might be a tough zone to break. That was a great intraday run, though, by ASTS. We'll see if it ends or not. If not, and those stocks stay hot today, it's going to be a fun sector to keep your eye on. Go back to Advanced Money Dispenser. Still holding up pretty good. Kind of testing a little trend line on the intraday chart here. Higher lows. Doesn't look super strong at the moment. QQQ can't get it done, G-Dog says. Let's see. It's a good rip up towards 590. Jake says, I'm printing on QQQ leaps right now. That's awesome. Coming back really well. Did you snipe him down here? Glad to hear it, Jake. It's not getting it done at the moment, G-Dog, but I don't know. It's still been pretty positive today. We'll see if it comes back. Oh, wow. He timed the bottom up almost exactly. Awesome. You're probably loving it then in that case. Nice short on SWMR. Swarmer. Little pullback to 47.85 right now. Looking at some headlines at the moment. Nothing too crazy hitting at this time. Except for Iran saying it won't accept deadlines or pressures for a deal. Besides that, everything's been fairly quiet today. All right. Yeah, SWMR 27%. Now talk about a drop. Look at since it came on the market, though. It's very strong. Gosh, that's a scary candle today, though. It's almost like the uptrend is going to be giving out. All right, all right. Sorry about that, guys. Jeanette said, holy shit, SPY is so crazy this morning. Or so wild. Any data? No real data that came out so far that's really moved things too much. I believe the calendar kicks off more of on Tuesday. Looks like we do get ISM data just now that released with SPY. Yeah, 10 a.m. ISM manufacturing PMI. Or sorry, ISM services PMI. Let's see what it came in at. I'm surprised it hasn't updated here on Trading Economics. There we go. Came in at 54. Right around the consensus and forecast. Doesn't seem too surprising. Definitely had a volatile candle with the SPY, but SPY hasn't really reacted too crazily yet. I guess we'll see if that kicks off more of a downtrend here, because SPY is testing a critical resistance right now. This zone of resistance is huge, and SPY is also testing a big trend line too. It's essentially right on the trend. It's actually a little bit above it, or was as it was running. But the big resistance that I've been watching for is 660. I've been talking about the high from last week around 650, 850, 659, but then 660 is the main one up there. So far, it's failed to push past there, even as the data released. Like SPY is getting a little weaker here, but you have to watch it because it's a volatile SPY right now. It can react to these headlines in any way, and we start to get more headlines coming out here about Iran or something. We can get some movement. Yeah, so the ISM services PMI came in at 54 versus a 54.9 estimate. Something that's going to be pretty big for the end of this week that I'm really eyeing up. And I'm not too excited about the data points releasing today and tomorrow or even Wednesday. But as we look at the economic calendar, scroll down a little bit and look at the bottom of the week. Look at Friday, 8:30 a.m., 1 hour before open. We're set to get inflation data starting to release. Now, I want you guys to see something. Check this out. Look at the inflation rate year over year. Look at what it's expected to go to. It's expected to jump from 2.4% up to 3.1%, 3.3%. The consensus and forecast are at 3.3% and 3.1%. That is pretty big. That's going to be a big jump. Now the core, which excludes food and energy, is only set to go up a little bit, which is good. But, you know, quoting Warren Buffett here, I don't know what's more core for consumers, food or energy. I don't get why they call it core inflation, because like literally what consumers care about are food and their gas prices. That's generally what they care about. Obviously interest rates and other things, but you know, we're talking about a very broad scope here. I heard Warren Buffett say that a long time ago. But that's something to look for here coming up at the end of the week. Now, before that, we're going to get the Federal Reserve's preferred inflation gauge, the PCE data, releasing Thursday. So we literally get the Fed's preferred inflation gauge and then the actual inflation data Friday. So, yeah, it's going to be a wild, wild week here. I can't believe that inflation's expected to rise that much, but hey, I guess that's why everybody's been freaking out lately, and the SPY is continuing to sell off after that data release. So SPY did start accelerating a bit there as that intraday support gave out. Those of you that played that rejection are sitting pretty right now. see what they had to say here. The ISM Services PMI fell to 54 in March of 2026 from 56.1 in February, which was the highest since August of 2022 and compared to forecasts of 55. Despite the slowdown in services activity, the reading still indicated continued strength in business activity, new orders, and order backlogs. Meanwhile, the prices index rose to 70.7, the highest since October 2022, from 63 in February. Back to Tesla we go. Wow, Tesla pulled back hard, falling under the low from last week now. Tesla continuing to get hit hard here in the short term. Damn, Tesla. Pulling back like crazy. This is going to be a big week for Tesla. Will it fall under 350 support? Gosh, it just might. It's pulling back really hard. Kind of following Thursday's bloody sell-off too. I guess people are preparing for this build-out of the robots. Elon has so much going on. It really is crazy with Elon. Intuitively scalping FCUV and PFSA. Let's see, FCUV. Focus Universal, 113% move today in pre-market. Wow, what a run. You said level 2 hotkey trades only work with extremely low latency charts and order flow, or don't risk it. Especially with stocks like this, it's probably pretty tough. I like it though, getting some hotkeys going. It's always fun. Go back to that SPY. See how it's moving after that data release still? Came and popped back slightly. Starting to look more negative now today after that 660 rejection. Really flirting with this trend line today. Having a lot of trouble getting positive. We're about 40 minutes into open, and SPY looks like a heartbeat monitor once again. How are these defense stocks doing? It's been crazy how low that they've been falling lately with all the war news going on. Almost like they were popping up with like a buy the rumor and then sell the news type of situation, because they popped off on like the very first day of the conflict, Monday, March 2nd, at least the first trading day, and then immediately sold off again. Tesla, buyer, wait, let's see. TSLA. That's a big drop off there. Still like it. I mean, I'm not a buyer. I think it would be hard to catch this falling knife today. It always is hard to catch a falling knife and call the bottom exactly. The only good thing about this right now is that this is a pretty decent sized green candle. And if you were trying to scalp it quickly or something, I could see you attempting to use this as a possible spot to long it. But I would stop out pretty quickly if it broke the low of the day, because there's no telling how much lower Tesla might really run to the downside. You know, again, it's like not the worst opportunity. It's just, it's not the way that I would go. It's hard to catch a falling knife like this. But hey, you know, trust your gut, and people run these types of strategies all the time. Just make sure that you're not, you know, getting ran over constantly trying to catch the bottom, and, you know, it might not happen to be. What I think would be really nice with Tesla is to get some type of consolidation and possible jump higher for a continuation, possibly in, you know, for an entry to back to the downside. Now that's what I personally would look for, but again, people have different niches out there. Some people might look to trade, you know, the consolidation move. So there's lots of different ways to go about each setup, but Zoidberg is shorting it. Healthy, are you looking at it for the longer term as well? For the long term, it's kind of getting enticing. I mean, I don't love it where it is right now, but as it pulls back, this pullback is creating a bit of an opportunity at least. Tesla's about to break on the 240 minutes. 240 mins, what does that mean? Do you have a 240 minute chart? That's pretty crazy. What is that? That's a 4 hour, okay. I've never heard anyone call it that. Thoughts on DOCN, Mixture says. DigitalOcean. Haven't looked at DigitalOcean in a long time. Let's see the daily. Wow, they've been performing pretty well too, coming back. Wow, that's a nice run. DOCN. Kind of broke above 89. Yeah, pushing up very well. Not good today, though. Down 2.3%, that's for sure. But the overall uptrend is there. DOCN. The one thing I will say on DOCN is look at the way it's moved up a lot here in the past. Look at how it falls for like 3 to 5 days. And then it generally forms a bottom after those drops and creates like really good buy the dip opportunities. I would eye it up for something like that, honestly, right now. But it's been pretty consistent with that, even most recently. Very consistent. I mean, every single dip on the way up has been bought. Now watch, this one won't. It won't keep doing that, but if you do see like, 2 or 3 days of pullback, might not be the worst opportunity to eye up. The pattern of that is definitely there. Jake said, it's all Tansy's fault. All metals are down. Energy fuels down 2.65%. UEC. A lot of the uranium stocks pulling back a little bit. I didn't check gold and silver today, Jake, but yeah, they are down a little bit. Gold seems like it's holding support, though. GLD might not be bad today. If it breaks under support, you could cut it pretty quickly here, but if it holds up and goes for a bit of a run, the risk reward could be solid. SPY still flirting around this trend line, trying to pop up, hitting 658.50. If you haven't yet, smash the like button and support the channel. Appreciate it, Joe Papa. Appreciate that. SPY is getting very volatile right now. Back and forth, back and forth. We'll see if it can establish this upside move. It's trying to really hold above the trend and make a push here. It just broke through 658.50 once again. Watch out for the high of day at 660. Analysis on TTD. Dylan says, waiting for TTT to give more confirmation on a bullish reversal. It will be a great swing. Right now in a bargain or broken range according to recent news. Wow, really low on TTD recently. Yeah, it's been selling off the face of the earth. Oh, it's tough. That's another really, really tough one here to catch. Very hard to call the bottom on these stocks, right? But it is getting so low to the point where there could be a good buy the dip opportunity. Now, there will be times that, it will inevitably happen that you go to buy up the dip on a stock like this and it really continues down. 100% could happen. TTD could be getting and feeling a lot of pressure from the AI situation right now. But looking at TTD, it's holding this longer term support, I should say, around $20 to $21. If you use that to stop out, the risk reward's there. The risk reward's there. If you're confident long term, dollar cost averaging in could be the way to go as well. One thing that I'm looking at here with TTD or the trade desk is, wow, I just can't believe the scope of the sell-off. But as we look at support in the longer term, there's a major support down around $14.50 to $15. That's going to be one of the bigger zones to watch. You can see how that was a good level in the past on the bottom left side of the screen. Held up very well. We're right where the stock bounced a few times, right in that zone. Now, it's pretty close where it is now, to be honest. Pretty close. But if it were to extend down there, that would be a pretty big L starting to happen. Let's throw up the watch list really quick. And the Mag 7. Wow, Apple's ripping 2.14%. Awesome. Great price action. All right, guys, quick intermission. I'll be right back. Give me just a moment. 1 sec. All right, sorry about that. To grab a quick drink. Apple, seriously, that is a good rip. 2.22%. I love to see that. Let's look at it on an intraday chart. Even on the daily, it looked really strong. 261.50. That is a great runner. Look at the daily chart here. That's a good double bottom down around 246, 246.50. Not bad at all. That was a great support hole on Apple's behalf there on the daily. It was getting pretty scary. Actually, that was just last week. On Monday of last week, we witnessed that. Support touch. $2.24%. Outperforming the Mag 7. Looking at some news. The $599 MacBook could be Apple's smartest move yet. That is pretty cheap for a MacBook, $600. Especially if it's semi-decent. Doesn't need to play games or anything, normal stuff. Yeah, no problem, Dylan. I've got burned on a few of those buying in too early in the past. Obviously, everybody usually has a couple of those, right? One I've been eyeing up lately is ORMP. Oramed. They make the oral insulin pill. Looks like they're popping up a little bit more today. Tangy Man looking at it. It looks like it's kind of priming for another move here. We'll see. It's at a critical junction on its journey. It has this trend of higher lows, which is good. Although at the same time, it kind of formed lower highs, so that's why it's kind of critical where it is. Earlier today, Jake was blaming you for you, Tangy Man. He said it's your fault. 15-minute chart, pulling back very hard. It's not super hard. It's down only 1.9%. I guess I misspoke there. The average percent fall is only 3.35%, so it's not really even to its average drop yet, interestingly enough. Oh yeah, Tangy. Very sideways now, G-Dog. Very sideways. SPY really slowed up here. Failed to move. Back to the Mag 7 we go. ASTS checking back in. Gosh, ever since it pulled back at close to $100, it has not gotten going again. Unfortunately, it was one of the hotter stocks of the morning, too. RCAT pulled back down to intraday support, though. It double topped here earlier today. We'll see if it keeps holding as support. If it continues staircasing up, that would be nice for RCAT. Looking for some more momentum to start to come through here. Possibly continue this uptrend from today. Coinbase moving higher. How is Bitcoin today? Is Bitcoin doing well? BTC USD up to 6. Wow, okay. Holding 69,000 support down there. Look at the hourly. Coming back pretty well. Interesting move on Bitcoin Spark. I don't know why I almost call it DraftKings. Yeah, Bitcoin. Resistance there. 70,200. Jake says, I'm looking at AMD Ryzen AI Max Plus 395 computer is an AI development LLM. Wicked fast, 4 to 8K displays. AMD Ryzen AI Max. What the? I've never even heard of this one, Jake. How advanced is this? This must be like a special one. I've never heard of it. Interesting. Is it like one of those mini computers that you're looking at? Like a GMK Tech? Very interesting. Dylan says, always a short or small long scalp on Bitcoin. Bitcoin's really testing this resistance close to 70K. It's having some trouble getting through there today. But Coinbase was moving well earlier this morning. Kind of pushing higher to test that high, but again, trouble breaking as Bitcoin can't break. CoreWeave, looking at them. Nothing crazy there. Oh, okay, Jake. Wow. Yeah, you do like learning languages and stuff. That's pretty insane. AI development, LLM. That'll be fun to see what you come up with, Jake. It doesn't seem very expensive compared to some of the gaming PCs I've seen. Is it like just as good as some of those? Look at CoreWeave starting to come back. That's hilarious. We turned it on and just started ripping back to the upside here. Two great candles. Back to the Mag 7 setup. Got a little slow. Tesla's trying to come up after the drop-off that they had. Attempting a slight recovery now. What's up with AMC moving? AMC's up 9.3% today at $1.20. Oh gosh, the AMC crowd is probably very sad right now. Is anybody still holding like GameStop or AMC from back in the day? Are there any true diamond handers out there? This is interesting. Yeah, that's crazy, Jake. You would think that that's like what people would go for. I mean, you're kind of giving me some good ideas, Jake. All right, AMC. Didn't think we'd be seeing that one this morning, of all stocks. WDC BMNR is moving up. Bitmine running up with Bitcoin and Ethereum, it looks like. Holding support. Bitmine needs to turn over quick for those of you that didn't take profits on the short position yet. It's playing out pretty quickly. How do we like that national championship tonight? Isn't that tonight? Yeah, UConn versus Michigan. Dylan said his first $10,000 trade that they ever closed was on BMNR. Nice. Like, does that mean 10,000 in profits? In that case, double nice. Manicured says Fab 5. What is that? What do I think about the Qs today? QQQ. Very weak after touching resistance earlier. Wow, what is that? What is that candle? Eyeing up the headlines. Uh-oh. Oh. Guys, Iran just conveyed a reply to U.S. proposal on ending the war. Iranian TV IRNA says Iran's comply consists of 10 clauses. Iran's reply consists of 10 clauses. Yeah, QQQ was pretty weak here off of resistance and still looking pretty weak in my eyes. It's not looking too hot. SPY just started turning over too. Doesn't sound good. They rejected a ceasefire in reply to the U.S. via Pakistan. Oh, the news just keeps pumping through right now. Iran rejects ceasefire. Stocks are falling. Iran demands a permanent end to the war. Wow, this is not stopping, is it? SPY's getting volatile. Now we have a couple green candles pushing through somehow. Back and forth off that initial red. We'll see if the market really starts to trend lower or not. Again, we're at this major trend line, and the market's just shaking back and forth at it, not really giving us any big indication or confirmation of a better move higher or lower. Very strange way it's starting to play out. Yemen's Iran-aligned Houthis say they carried out an attack against Israel on Monday. Oh, the Michigan Wolverines. I got you. The Fab Five. I see. When they had 5 freshmen. Ah, oh, I see now. I see. Uh-oh, KNMSO. Watch out. Michigan winning. I called it from the beginning of the season, Mason said. I know you definitely called it on your bracket, so kudos to you. Are you winning? You're probably winning the bracket. I haven't checked it in a minute, but let's see. Mason is winning. And I don't think he can lose at this point. Hey, I gotta say, I came in the highest for my team losing, at least. I'm surprised we didn't have one person pick UConn. KNMSO's ready for the college football one. Look at Tesla continuing to look rough here. Just pushed the new low of the day a couple minutes ago. Keep your eyes on Tesla. It's been looking very weak again today. Could be some opportunities to the downside there. QQQ. That is a pretty big pullback. We'll see if it starts to accelerate a lot more. I would not be surprised to see QQQ start to give out here, especially with the negativity starting to hit with this Iran rejecting the ceasefire news. Houthi said that their attack on Israel was carried out with the IRGC and Hezbollah. They were helping them. U.S. official on Iran's response. They said the response was maximalist and unclear if it'll allow moving forward to a diplomatic resolution. Axios. It's not good to hear. It's a bit negative. Another negative headline. Their response was maximalist and unclear if it'll allow moving forward to a diplomatic solution. Not good for the Bulls right now. Especially as SPY and QQQ continue to show weakness. They're not necessarily breaking their trend of higher lows from the day yet, though. SPY does have some higher lows going from open. But that's going to be put into question here in a minute. SPY is pulling back hard. 656.80. Watch for this to give out. This is where the trend of higher lows is breaking, and it just broke down. Starting to accelerate a bit. Keep your eyes on like UVIX and UVXY. They're starting to pop off a little bit too. Could be advantageous playing the move in volatility. Sorry about that, guys. I'm looking at something really quickly. SNDK wedge setup. Break down or break out. Find out next. SNDK's in a wedge. Oh yeah, it is. It is kind of wedging here today. Wow, it looks like it's pointing up as of now. SPY's still very, very shaky here at this trend line. Watch this level right here very closely at 657.50, 657.60. We could see SPY end up hitting and rejecting back down right here. Definitely could be. What do you think Tesla can break down, reaching support levels? Let's see. Let's see some possible targets coming up. Oh, 350 is going to be the first big target. 355 will probably be a minor target here. But ultimately, 350 is going to be on the radar. It looks like Tesla recently bottomed, though, at 352. So maybe use 352 to 350 as a good range down there. If we go to the book map right now, let's see. It's lagging on me because I have so many book maps open from the requests. Hang on. All right, let's see if that fixes it at all. Come on, Tesla. Come on. I won't do what I want right now. There we go. You can see that buy wall down there at 350, around 168,000 shares that are stacked up there. That is insane. That is insane. 355 has around 56,000, so a slight buy wall, but nothing too significant. The big scare for Tesla would be as if the overall market, like, just started totally reversing back up. If we just saw the SPY, like, just have a massive rip all the way up through the high of the day, and a lot of positivity came through, that could bleed over into Tesla. It didn't really even matter last Thursday, but let's go back to the SNDK wedge. How's that looking? Still holding out and above it. You don't have to live and die by the wedge, but could give us a good visualization of the trend shifting back up. So far, it's holding really well on the upper side. Not really moving, though. Good confirmation would be like a rip past 730. If you had like your finger on the buy button waiting for that. This market's too choppy, YouTube says. It is a very choppy market. Very choppy. Hard to trade, especially on days like this in my eyes. So far, it's been very hard. Now, some of these days have been very great to trade as well. We've seen some great price action, some great movement, you know, across the board. Market waiting for Trump at 1 p.m. It could be waiting, so to say. Trump's 1 p.m. update today. Let me see if they have it on the roll call yet. They should. Here's Trump's schedule for today. Yep, you can see it. President holds a press conference. On camera, 1 p.m. Eastern. 12 Central. It'll be a good one. Do you see Tesla breaking 350 to the downside? Let's see. 350 is a big level there. I mean, I could see it breaking that down. Not today, though. Not today. Today, it's already down quite a bit. I guess it's only down 1.3%, but if you count it from like the pre-market high, it's a little more than that. Let's see. Or just from the high of the day to the low. It fell on 3.3%, so that makes it look a lot worse. Yeah, I don't really see 350 giving out today. But like over the next couple of weeks, even like next week or so, I wouldn't be surprised if over that time frame it occurred. Especially if the market, reacts negatively to a boots on the ground situation or just an Iran situation update. It doesn't have to be necessarily boots on the ground, but just anything that would be negative. I'm just naming things that would be possibly seen as something that moves the market in that type of way. That was a great call on Netflix, Vintage said. NFLX pulled back to the gap fill. Where was that call at, Vintage? I am not going to be live while Trump speaks, Blazer. Actually have a meeting here in a little while. Did you get it on a Tesla short? Zoidberg, let's just say that you know, we've been in on a Tesla short. Guys, don't forget that we have code StockedUp right now for $150 off of the yearly trading floor. This is going on right now for Easter specifically. $150 off the yearly trading floor. Code StockedUp. This code will be ending tomorrow night. So get it in while you can. Code StockedUp. I'm going to send you guys a link right now in the chat. Takes $150 off, makes the yearly $647. It's the best yearly price that we will have all year. $647. Yeah, Zoidberg, it'd be really nice for Tesla to get to like 350. That would be beautiful in the short term. Tesla better get their robots out. The company can't survive on just their cars, Jake said. That will be pretty crazy. I still can't quit thinking about that movie, I, Robot. Whenever I think about Tesla's robots, they actually look fairly close. Obviously, the heads look way different, but it's pretty insane how they would operate and be. Kind of like in that movie, you know, they alluded to like older people liking the robots to do things around the house and stuff like that, which is a bit scary. Something that's also pretty crazy overall is going to the moon. You know, this stuff is getting awesome. Personally, I like it. I think it's exciting. Get back to the moon again. Well, if you believe that we went the first time, we're going again. If you didn't, we're going the first time. I guess it just depends on what you think there. I feel like that one's very 50-50. What does that mean, Elite? Could we end up mining the moon for minerals, Almighty J says. I actually think that that's going to be huge going forward, is space mining. I truly believe that the space mining industry will eventually be huge because we can start taking things from other planets and other sources, so to say. Now, of course, we're a long way out from, I think, the true version of that, but I think that that would be a good first start because we don't necessarily need to build infrastructure over there for humans to just mine, right? You could mine probably with robotics and tools and other things like that. And again, everything's pretty far out when we're talking about things like this, but I really do believe that that's going to be a big sector down the line. Haven't you guys watched that show, Jimmy Neutron? How they went and got the rubies? That's hilarious. That's like the only episode of that show that I remember, but in that episode, and the only reason I bring up, a kid's show, in that episode, they literally went and did space mining, is why I bring it up. Mason knows. Man, Tesla's still moving lower. Broke through 355. See how much lower this thing runs today. Looking great. Yeah, Tesla's still looking bad. Go over to Palantir. Wow, very slow and choppy today. Kind of like the SPY, just up and down, up and down, up and down. QQQ, still chopping with SPY as well. Not too surprised there. Apple was doing great earlier. Started pulling back a bit. Go back to the Mag 7 really quick. And now Apple gave a lot of the gains back. Amazon is catching them in percent move today. Trump said the Tuesday deadline is final. I've seen every proposal. Trump said not good enough. Trump said it, the Iran proposal is a big step, but not good enough. He said, we will see what happens. What? These updates are crazy, guys. I'll show you what this looks like, too. Here's what the updates are coming in looking like if you wanted to see what they really look like. But this is just literally what they say. It's just a short and sweet headline most of the time. Trump said the UK has a long war to go. What? A lot of crazy updates, though. Maybe we'll get even more hitting here in the short term. Cause some volatility with SPY. It seems more like negative rhetoric, though. If I had to put a word to describe the rhetoric that I'm hearing this morning, it's definitely more of negative. It seems like that he's rejecting it. It's not good enough. And Iran says they're rejecting ceasefire, so craziness going on. The only deals are going to be Trump's deal to Iran. Trump is never going to accept a deal from Iran unless it's hugely in his favor. Yeah, definitely. Honestly, this whole entire thing just seems like it kind of just seems like a ploy to just wait until he can go, like, do some sort of boots on the ground situation. At least that's just what it seems like to me. Obviously, you know, it's very subjective on Trump's... the opinions on Trump are very subjective, given his rhetoric and all of the... I'm not going to say lies, but just like deceitfulness, you know, in his strategy with Iran. You know, like initially saying that they weren't going to strike and then doing it right after, you know, kind of catching them off guard a bit. Obviously, there's some strategy to that rather than it being, you know, I guess he is lying, but it's strategic lying. It's weird way to describe it, but again, very subjective what this might be. The hater, Theta hater, late to the party today. Oh man. Hassett said that they expect Fed to lower rates once Wash gets there. I wonder if that's going to help the odds on rate cuts this year go up on Kalshi. It hasn't really. Pause for June is still baked in, hasn't moved much. Feels like a pissing contest, Zachary says. It kind of is right now. Although it's a pissing contest over the media. I can't believe how many of their leaders and stuff got initially taken out on those strikes at the beginning. Pretty crazy, actually. Up and away, says, there goes Tesla. Yeah, moving lower again. Continuing to push down. This is looking awesome right now. Check on the banks. We have not looked at the banks much today, or the cruise lines or airlines. We'll do a little check-in. Bank of America is still coming up pretty well off of its recent dip. posting a pretty good recovery effort here today. Same thing with JP Morgan. Both are like right on their recent resistances, but they're looking solid on the daily. They could always turn over, but the support zone down here is starting to hold up strong. Starting to look pretty good. How about Wells Fargo or Goldman? Yeah, even those ones. Well, Wells Fargo anyways. Let's check Goldman. Yeah, both attempted a little run here again this morning. Elite says AMD just needs to let go. Wow, look at that support. That's a tough support intraday there. Zoidberg said, how did you learn most about trading back in the day, Tom? It's a good question, Zoidberg. It's a good question. I'm not sure if many people would be able to do what I did, but, you know, I was the type of person, and I kind of still am, I watch a lot of YouTube, right? And whenever you're watching YouTube, and especially with stock stuff, whether it's stocks, options, futures, you name it, Bitcoin, crypto, all you have to do is just go on to YouTube and type in literally anything about it, and it'll pop up hundreds and hundreds of videos, a lot of them being pretty high quality. So I did a lot, and I mean a lot of research on YouTube throughout the years. Obviously not just YouTube, but YouTube was probably, if I had to name one source, the biggest. There's a lot of others. Investopedia, really solid. Probably a good number 2 right there, just for overall everything. But it's hard to beat sometimes those good explanations. And now there can be some negatives to that, like, you know, if you go down the wrong path on YouTube and you start, you know, following people over sensationalizing things and, you know, the whole get rich quick mindset, not really going to work out probably. But you actually look at, you know, smart, high quality, let's say high level videos, like let's say higher level strategies, right? Like if you're just watching videos of some guy trying to day trade SPY with, you know, buying with the MACD or something, you know, that's probably like not the best, right? But I would say, like, let's say you're watching somebody who's, let's say, building a complete strategy where maybe like MACD or RSI is part of it, but then they, you know, branch out into like a big larger picture, and they even get into other strategies, like let's say, you know, debit spreads, cash secure puts, iron condors potentially. You know, there's a lot of different things that people could start branching out into, at least in like the options world, right? But just be mindful, make sure you're following and looking at people that are, you know, doing things the right way. Yeah, definitely, Zachary, definitely. Yeah, definitely not, Elite. Definitely not. Those things are wild, right? And while some people do well and, you know, they might get it to work, in some scenarios, most people out there are going to try that and just blow up. Even if they do well on the first couple, they'll still, like, blow it up at the end of the day. Got to be mindful. Obviously, I know you're kidding, though, Elite, but some people might not know that I'm saying that. I don't really have a favorite, like, strategy, like, to the T, Zoidberg. But let's just say that my favorite strategy is definitely following a trend. Like, following a good uptrend or a good like a good pattern that involves a trend or a trend line is generally what I go for. But I'm somebody that believes every single setup is unique, and having multiple strategies to run on different setups, depending on how they are, is a good thing to have in your toolbox. So I don't like just calling out one favorite, but prefer identifying the trend and following a good uptrend. You'll see this play with the surge bot sometimes as well, where let's say it calls out a good trend and it just, you know, goes on a crazy uptrend throughout the day, kind of like Apple this morning. You know, Apple had that nice move and had very consistent uptrend going on this morning. Each time it would dip, you know, very small and come back immediately. Nothing that really stood out as, you know, falling down or anything too crazy there. But of course, that's just Apple today. SPY, on the other hand, very difficult in my eyes today, given the way that it's been moving. Very hard to follow a true trend on this one. There is this lower trend here, which, you know, was setting up pretty well, but, you know, if you were following that, kudos to you on following it for this third hit here. You know, nice scalp opportunity back up, but unless you hit that, not my favorite. Yeah, definitely. Support and resistance is almost always in play, Zachary. Like, I look at that on every single trade, no matter what, because it's fairly simple to look at too. You know, you just look at like a 1 minute chart. At least if you're scalping, you know, you look at a nice intraday chart, see where the support and resistance of the day is, and then like you zoom out and you see a lot more over here, like 655, 655.50. Theta hater with that, with the bot trades in that way, you know, there's multiple different ways to play them. You know, some people buy them and they'll scale out throughout the trading day and they'll hold it for a few hours. Some people will buy and sell potentially within, you know, 15, 20 minutes. Personally, I kind of like the time range of like 30 minutes to 2 hours. I think that that's generally a good time frame. Now, of course, if you see an intraday like mega reversal and you have to cut, the chart might dictate you cutting, right? Before your time frame comes out. But it's there's a lot of different ways that people like to play them. Some people like to see the bot trade or the bot have a call out, but then they'll wait for a pullback to enter because they don't feel like entering and potentially entering at the top. Now, again, there's a trade-off to everything. There's a trade-off to that. Sometimes you're going to miss some trades if they don't pull back to the levels that, you know, you are looking at for an entry. But it's showing you plays that are generally moving very well. Of course, reversals do happen and, you know, are natural if you're running multiple setups a day. Got to be mindful of that intraday too. And of course, as most traders who trade options now have seen, a lot of times the big wins really help skew your account to the positive or the profit side. For example, like you might go through, like, let's say 10 trades, right? Let's just say there's a sample size of 10 trades. You might have, like, let's say 3 to 4 bad trades, 3 to 4 mediocre trades, and then 1 really good trade. And the thing that would really swing your account positive was that 1 really good trade, for example, where the rest of the trades were kind of canceling each other out. You know, you might have some winners, maybe they're like 30 percenters. Maybe you had some L's, maybe 30, 40 percenters as well, you know, sprinkled in. But then you had one day where, you know, you caught, let's say, like Tesla's downside move today, and you made like 200%. That is what swayed your account for that week. That could be something that a lot of traders don't think about, but definitely helps. And you might say, okay, well, if we're taking 30% on all these other ones, how could we just hold this one longer? Well, a lot of times the chart will dictate that, right? Maybe you have a trailing stop. Maybe you're implementing a strategy like the candle snap rule, like you're waiting for, you know, an hourly candle to break back above the previous hour, or maybe a 15-minute. You're waiting for the 15-minute candle to break back above the previous, for example. Some of these things could be strategies that help you hold for longer, and we have a lot of information like that in the Discord. If you're a free member, check out the free resources channel. There's even a free strategies section where we go over a lot of these intraday strategies. Check that out. There's the pop, pull, and go setup. There's trend reversals. There's the CSR, the candle snap rule. So there's a few different ways and strategies that you can run there, and pretty good visuals in the Discord too. Go check it out. But we'll have to do that one tomorrow, Zoidberg. Sorry about that. We got to call the stream here. We'll just say it was pretty risky. But I appreciate you guys joining up today. It's been a great day in the stock market. At least for Tesla to the downside, right? SPY's been flat. I'm just glad to see some stocks moving, getting some good price action and opportunities out there. Even Apple earlier. Again, good early morning opportunity, even while the market was a bit slow. But I appreciate you guys. Have a great rest of the day. I'll talk to you later. Make sure you like and subscribe if you're new. Don't forget, the code StockedUp is going to be ending tomorrow night. Check it out. Get in on the action. Takes $150 off of the yearly. Code StockedUp. Putting it in the chat right now. Hope everyone had a happy Easter. I stole that from someone, by the way. All right, see you guys. Have a great rest of your Monday. Start the week off strong.